Mud sucked at Jonas Petty's boots, slow, sticky, relentless. He fought for each step as the column unspooled down the Monmouth Road. Infantry in loose lines, dodging pits, bodies bunched where the track ran worst. Gray daylight pressed overhead. His coat, shirt, skin, everything sticky from the marsh air and the sweat of plowing on. The musket thumped against his neck, the leather strap biting. Somewhere up ahead, an officer barked. Close ranks. Jonas veered over, closing the gap, stealing shallow breaths in the June heat. Cannons floundered in the greasy mud, their crews cursing, ropes out, arms straining. A fusilier lost his shoe, went down on one knee, scrabbling, others pushing by. Someone muttered a curse on the slog. Insect buzz got lost under the boot scuffle. The drag, the leather scrape. Socks thick with sand. Grit grinding his feet raw. Trees bowed, flicking cold water onto faces as the line forced through a stand. Jonas squinted at bandaged feet, old blisters seeping through linen. The wind tugged a faded flag overhead. Another man stumbled, showered mud up Jonas's leg. Jonas grabbed him, steadied, moved on. Pace swelled and slowed to the sergeant's rhythm. A whiff smoke, sharp, carried forward. They were close to Monmouth Court House now. Jonas's grip went harder on the musket sling, eyes pecking over the officers, picking down the edge of the column. Everyone wore the march, not speeches or shouts, just sagging shoulders, legs running shorter on each footfall. Word ticked up the line. The British stopped out west. Then Washington rode by. His aides pressed around, horse legs streaked with muck. Jonas caught a flicker of blue and buff, sweat dark on the animals. The ranks straightened beneath Washington's stare. Drummers went by, tap-tapping, bunching the men up. At a wood's edge, Jonas's company turned off the road, ranks forming rough in the grass. The sergeant counted heads, sometimes twice if men were too hoarse to answer. Jonas checked his powder horn, watched others knock back the last drops from their canteens. A sharp whistle ground packs, bayonets fixed. He set down the sack, bread landing with a dull thud. Cocked the lock, glanced out over the swell. Rumors put red coats in the far brush. To the side, the colonel and his officers talked in fast spurts. Words clipped low. Jonas spat, grit rising. A rider flashed past, horse caked and blowing. Murmurs bubbled up. Stand fast, the orders could be advance. Fire or fall back. Nobody knew. Musket cracks jumped from somewhere far left. Jonas tensed, thumb over the trigger guard. Company order, brace. So they waited, faces bright and flushed, knuckles steady on ramrods, boots shifting in grit and gravel. Wind shifted. The fight sounded closer. Distant trees shook when shots struck high. Command howled up. The muskets came up, Jonas sighting on the green mess ahead. The line limped forward, ground thick as syrup. Insects popped free in front of his toes. He kept his gait tight. All that mattered, don't break the line. Another halt. Muskets raised. Smoke and warmth rolled back through the ranks. Two lines pulled tight. Captains shoving men forward where the gaps appeared. Artillery started in both sides now. American pieces spat from behind. British balls chewed up earth. Men ducking on reflex. Someone groaned, dragged out behind. Tiny flecks of char dropped from the sky, burned on Jonas's sleeve. Close enough now, scarlet jackets showed through gaps. Orders, volley fire. Captain soared high. Jonas bit into a cartridge, spat the cap, tipped and rammed. Line went off together. Muskets bucked, powder sting in every nose. He couldn't see past the smoke to check who fell. Reload fumbled at the pouch. To the left, someone knelt, clutching a mangled leg. Buddy stuffing a rag at the blood. Everything spat into habit. Load present. Fire. Sweat walked through the dust on Jonas's face. The line pressed forward, step by step. British shot cracked into tree limbs. One chip cutting Jonas's shoulder. He ducked, brought the musket up. Lips split, fixed bayonets again. Advance. Jonas stamped boots into grass, flattened ours back. Kept low, eyes on the redcoat line, legs wobbling. Somebody slipped, made a mess in the ranks. Sergeants jabbed them back with flat blades. British volley, Crisp, rehearsed. Smoke rolled out. The two in front dropped. Jonas sidestepped, line closed, ground pressed up wet, refusing to let go. More smoke ahead. British line wavered, caught, steadied. The long shout charge. They surged, boots flinging clods, the whole line together. Redcoats bent, then fell back in order. Some stood off, firing a last volley, then faded away. The rush stalled, too near for comfort, too far to shoot. Jonas's lungs sawed in the smoky air, musket slipping in his raw hands. Watch them go. Relief came jagged and slow. Jonas jerked upright, scanning for captain's hand. Pull back, file squatted behind the dry rise. He dropped, hand shaking, drained the canteen, water foul and warm, but it wet his throat. Stretcher teams hurried by, cloth clamped, one man groaning. Jonas watched the rest binding up wounds. Water passed out for the worst. The sun bore down, finally burning off cloud, sweat and powder stinging in the heat. He wiped grit from his musket, thumb over the lock. Duty went on, shells and gear, lost cartridges. They walked the ground, bodies in the battered earth, helped a bleeding man into an elm's wan shadow. Boots squelched, Jonas's own sleeve stained dark where blood ran. Later, new orders. The company fell in, shuffled off, files staggered back to camp. Jonas hiked up the pack, the straps dug rough at his shoulders, sweat dried in flaky rings. Black dots played at the edge of his vision. Each step away from the churned fight ground felt heavier, boots sticking, mud stubborn on the leather. A drummer boy brushed past, cheeks streaked, bringing news. British pulled out. Jonas paused, watching smoke creep low over the mess of kit and field. Horses nosed through scattered wreck. Riders kept their voices down. Near sunset, long lines of tents glowed low. Jonas's steps wound down, waited for release, dropped his musket, easy this time. Stepped out of the muck, slow, set his pack straight, sat up a little apart. Looked back once at the ruined field. Bread out, tore a chunk, hand steady, every motion sharp in the failing light.